There we go. We're here with Tim Sanborn, once again, part of our solar education series.
Yes, indeed.
Last time we did residential,
Spoke about residential. Yeah.
we went through all the nuts and bolts. We had charts, we had breakdowns,
Yeah.
because so many people have so many questions
Yeah.
on how it all works. And right here, um, you break it down. Today we're going to talk about commercial.
Commercial investment. Yep.
Now, we spoke, and if your house is solar friendly, meaning it has the right pitch, there aren't a ton of trees around it,
Correct.
and it faces the sun for a good portion of the day,
Correct.
it's a no brainer.
That's correct.
There are, so that's your baseline. It's definitely, you're pretty much gonna make money because you won't put it on a house that isn't gonna make them money, or
That's correct. It's all about productivity.
it's all about productivity.
Yeah.
Now, that's the baseline. But with commercial, because of a business's ability to depreciate,
Yep.
it's even more savings.
Yeah. The payback is even faster
Right.
and more pronounced. It's more robust, if you would.
So we're going to go over here, and we're going to talk about some of the things that make sense. And you know what? Just before we even get started,
Yeah.
I'd like you to mention some of the people, because these are people in our community
Correct.
that people will definitely recognize. And if you just happen to see that, because you'll see these people in town. If you see these people in town, ask them how they feel about
That's
it.
correct. Yeah.
Because every person I've spoken to, not being around you, and the reason I made my investment
Yep.
was based on speaking to people that already had it.
That's right.
And how happy they were with it.
Yeah.
So why don't you go through a few of the people?
Well, I think we're blessed because we just celebrated our 20th solar install, commercial install, not residential, but commercial. We're coming up on 300 on residential, over 300. We just finished it, and it was for the Dental Associate building at 321 Washington Street, which is a collaborative of two business owners, Rob Rousseau, Dr. Rob Rousseau, dentist at Dental Associates, and Nathan Spencer of Family Chiropractic. Beyond that, we've done many throughout Eastern Massachusetts, but focusing on Cape Ann, we've done Foster's of Gloucester, Norrie's Cleaners, Preferred Auto Body, Linsky's Service Center. So we've done Buttman's Associates, which is one of the largest ones we've done, and that's probably still the largest on Cape Ann.
Mm-hmm.
We've done so many, and so we've done not only large commercial installations, we've done small as well. And the great thing about commercial is the buildings are a little bit more solar friendly than you would have a residential. And we're going to get into the economics of it. And I like to say things are robust when Holy Cow Ice Cream and Cafe Cecilia have signed with us to move forward on their solar investments here in the near future. So things are humming, and we can always take on more investors.
We should also mention, because we have a friend, Brandon Pratt, on coming on Thursday, and he is a finance guy.
Yeah.
And he tells me right now that with this coronavirus and some other things, we are in this incredible. Business is strong, but at the same time, interest rates are some of the lowest rates that have been available ever.
Yep.
So financing rates for solar are probably pretty low to begin with.
Oh, yeah, very aggressive, good rates. And the thing to keep in mind, we spoke about this at our last series in residential. After you take your federal tax credits and put it on the loan and re-amortize, fancy bank term, you will generally be cash flow positive if you have a productive home or business, meaning that more is staying in your checking account than is going out to pay.
Mm.
So people say, well, geez, what's my investment cost up front? Well, if you finance it, there's no investment cost because the bank you're going to have monthly payments, and again, you'll be favorable in terms of cash flow.
Yeah, so meaning that less money is going to go out that's going to come in.
And in essence, you're paying yourself for no electricity bill.
I believe me when I tell you, when every month when the national grid bill comes to me,
you post it,
and I have a credit, it's the best feeling ever, because I did have bills in the past that were, $800 electric bills, $400 electric bills, and it just grinds at you.
Yeah, it does.
And to not have that is something else.
And the unknown, we don't know what's going to happen. This morning I was hearing about some issues again in the decommissioned Pilgrim power plant, where there is some concerns about storage of that nuclear power, and that's going to be a cost to repair whatever it is that, and I'm not an expert in it, but whatever it is that needs to be done. That cost is not going to be bared by anybody except for the consumers. So we don't know what the future is going to be.
Yeah.
We only know what it is today, and that's what we're going to look at. Commercial example.
And the trend has only been higher electricity rates.
That is correct.
So the numbers that you're going to see here with electricity savings, we should mention that's if everything stayed stable, as if there was no electricity cost increase.
Correct.
So if you feel like I feel, and most people I think would feel, that electricity rates generally don't come down much.
Right.
They only, over time, they only go up.
That's right.
Then the numbers that you're showing here would actually be, you'd actually end up with more savings.
Correct. Yeah. This is minimum exposure, if you would. Minimum.
Right. Super conservative estimates.
Yeah. I didn't go crazy on this.
Well,
I did not put an estimate.
Well, that's what and when I explain, when people ask me and I go through the numbers of my investment, and the people that I spoke to before I made my investment, everybody said, when you come in, you give a free estimate of that. You look at the roof line, you look at the pitch, you look at the angle to the sun, you see what you can put for panels up there, and you give them an estimate. Every person that I spoke to before I made my investment said that your estimates were all came, that what they received back was surpassed what the estimates were. So you're not selling a bill of goods of Fantasyland expectations.
That's correct.
You're we said this before. I don't want to mess it up. You are under promising and over delivering.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into the commercial solar investment.
Yeah. Let's take an example. Let's look at.
So we have Robin Kalenda has chimed in and says, "Thank you for this. We've been wanting to know more about solar power."
Yeah.
Arlie Pett says the temple is going to install solar in March. But let's get to solar
Excellent.
investment, and you take it from there.
Yeah. What we're going to look at now is just a small commercial solar investment, and what this is about 50 panels on a commercial roof. So that initial investment, and again, you can finance it, is about $47,000. So how does that money come back? So let's chunk it. Let's look at the first year. The first year, we have a federal tax credit. That's the one-time event. And in this example, this investor would get $13,000 of tax credit. That's dollar for dollar. So they get that back on their, once they file the corporate sales tax at the end of the year. Sales tax, income tax at the end of the year for the corporation.
Right. Comes straight off of it.
Comes straight off, $13,000.
Right. So 47,000 comes down to 44,000 right off the bat.
Below that, it's $34,000.
34,000. I'm sorry, 34,000. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's another one-time event, is depreciation. Commercially, we're able to depreciate the investment. And what you're able to do is take 85% of the cost of that investment at your taxable rate and depreciate that over 5 years. So this example shows the first year depreciation of $6,000. We're doing it to save money, right? We're doing it to reduce our electric bill. So in this example, we're reducing our electric bill at the current rate by $4,000.
So the initial cost of $47,000 that you may or may not be financing, whatever it happens to be, $47,000 out. Immediately the first year when you file your tax returns, you get a $13,000 tax credit.
Correct.
And on this size system, a $47,000 system, you can assume that this electricity savings is going to be $4,000.
Correct.
Okay, so there's another.
Yep.
So that's money that's not going out that you would have to pay.
Stays
you didn't have it.
Stays in the checkbook.
There you go. Stays in the checkbook. Okay.
Then
and the depreciation.
And then the depreciation first year. Depreciation carries for another 4 years. So then you also, in the state of Massachusetts, just like residential, commercial clients get the smart income. What that is about 7 cents currently. It cascades down. We'll speak about that at the end. Cascades down, but that's about 7 cents per kilowatt hour. It has nothing to do with saving electricity. When we do solar installation, the National Grid comes in and changes out the meter, so you pay a net number. That's where you see your savings. Then we put another meter on the house or building, and that's the smart meter. And that pays a cash incentive monthly for every kilowatt hour your solar system produced the previous month. And in this example, it's about $1,400 for the first year. So what happened in the first year? You took a $47,000 investment and you reduced the first year, after the first 12 months, that investment dropped to $22,732 in this example, after the first year. Now we're doing solar for more than 1 year, right?
Right.
So let's look at what happens year 2 through 10. We carry over the $22,732 that carried over in this example. We get an additional smart income. The smart incentive on light commercial runs for 10 years. So this investor will get monthly checks accumulating to the total amount of $12,500 in this example. That's cash coming to you every month.
Boom.
Okay. Then you get your electricity savings for year through to 10 with no escalation.
Right. And to think that there's not
Current
going to
rate.
be escalation is crazy. So yeah.
Right. That's about $33,000 over the next 10 years. That stays in the checkbook. And then you get, remember I mentioned depreciation for commercial goes for 5 years if you so choose. And that's an additional $6,000 that comes off the profit and loss statement.
For years 2 through 5, every
Correct.
year between 2 and 5. Well, between 1 and 5. Really.
That's correct.
Right.
So what happened in the first 10 years? You took the initial investment, right, of what was it, $47,000.
Yep.
You got all that money back if you think about a break even in 3 to 4 years, and you made $29,000-$30,000 on your investment. I can't see any other place where we can get that payback, putting any investment into our building at all. Not at all.
Yep.
So let's take it one step further, Joe, if we may. Because these systems are warranted for 25 years, right? We talked about that in the residential segment. They're warranted for 25 years. They're far going to outlive that.
Mm-hmm.
Going to last well beyond warranty period. So what did we do? We took that investment, got all our money back, and we made minimum, because there's no escalation in electricity, made a minimum of $84,500. All right. Now, what would happen if you didn't do anything? With no escalation, you're going to pay National Grid the cost of doing nothing, I call it. You're going to pay National Grid $71,000
for electricity.
Yep.
And that is, again, assuming in 25 years that electricity didn't go higher.
Correct.
In cost,
That's
which
correct.
we think is in my opinion, again, is a pipe dream.
That's correct.
So that could be double or triple that number.
That is correct.
Right.
Yeah. This next slide, which you're looking at, is one that you stimulated this conversation way back. And you said, okay, what if I took that $47,000 and I invested it in the bank, and I used a low interest rate, current interest rate, and on that $47,000, you are going to make some money. You're going to make approximately $25,647 an additional profit on the interest. Mm-hmm. All right. But if you compare that to the solar investment, you're going to make $84,000. You're going to make 3 times more on your investment money
with solar. On a commercial installation.
Exactly correct. Huge opportunity for our business owners, and that's why you see everybody doing it. Mm-hmm. And
here's a question now.
Yep.
Because this will probably be a question that people would ask. If I own the building, and I put the solar system in, yep. I have the loan.
Yep.
And 5 years down the road, I'm going to sell the building.
Yep.
Who gets the benefit of the electricity and that is produced and the credits and everything?
Yeah. the one-time events are taken already, right? Federal tax credit and
Right.
depreciation.
Yep.
All right. Electricity savings goes with the building, so that's a selling feature that the business owner, the property owner, has to sell the building.
Mhm.
You're walking in and you've got a reduced electric bill or no electric
Or
bill,
no electric bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hell of a building.
no operating costs.
Yeah.
Right? It's great selling proposition.
Yeah.
And the smart income is transferable to the new owner. All right.
There you go.
And we help the client with that, both on residential, because we have a lot of our clients that have flipped their homes. Okay, they've sold their homes that initially did solar investments with us. So we help them with paperwork to move that process
So
forward.
you guarantee people you're not going to leave them out on a if they're going to sell their home, because I think that's a fair question. So a homeowner that may keep them from doing a solar investment,
Yeah.
if they say, well, what if I sell my home? I don't think I can handle the paperwork myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your promise to them is that you would help them.
We help
if
them.
you buy if they purchase it through you.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We're one of the only solar companies that have a service division. All right. And I'm proud of the team that we have on the field, right? I'm blessed because I've got great people, or we have great people. Not only are we the only master elite roofer that does solar in Massachusetts, we're one of the only few that does service work. And we do service work for clients that have other solar systems.
Right, have bought them through other people.
Correct. And the national solar companies are few and far between now because they've gotten out the business.
Yeah.
Okay, because you can't nationalize this solar business because unfortunately,
I think it's so personal, and especially when you own a home, and the national companies, they hire salespeople that may be from, say from Lawrence or Boston or whatever, and you're coming to Gloucester. That person isn't necessarily going to care about. They just want to get the sale.
yeah.
I mean,
I don't want to speak ill of them, but
no,
you're
I
right.
understand what you're saying, but like you're in our area, in Cape Ann, the Northeast here. You live here. Your grandson plays hockey here.
Yeah.
You're a big supporter of Little League. I see your signs everywhere. On the Little League fields. I see your signs at the hockey rinks.
Yeah.
This is someone you're in this community.
Yeah.
You're gonna face these people.
Yeah.
You want when you do an installation. There's something that you have a pride in that
That's
you're
right.
not going to have to walk down the street and have to duck somebody.
That's right. We got into this business with the philosophy that we give back to the community. All right. So we have a very strong give back program. We sponsor things that you may know of, that you mentioned, things that you might not know of. So we believe strongly in a give back program because that's the roots of the community that we live in.
Yeah.
And that's very important to us.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we haven't hit on. We're gonna tease some things.
We're gonna have a teaser.
I'm gonna let you take it from there. But there is something that I am very excited about.
Yeah.
And I won't say what it is. I'm gonna tell you I'm as a gadget guy, as a tech geek guy.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to learn more, but we can't say it just yet. But we're gonna say it soon.
Not yet. We're going to be certified this Friday, and then you'll have the exclusive on this, Joe, because within 2 weeks we've got a big announcement that is very important for both current solar investors and people that are investing solar in the very near future. So again, it's part of being an independent contractor. We're becoming more inclusive to help the homeowner and the business owner with their investments. So more news at 11. Breaking news, and you'll hear it first on Good Morning Gloucester within 2 weeks.
I'm excited to hear the nuts and bolts of it.
Yeah.
It's exciting to me.
It is exciting for us.
The technology is just phenomenal. And so can we just briefly, if someone does say a business needs a new roof or anything like that, you can handle your business. You're a master roofer.
Yep.
So you can handle the whole project.
Correct.
So if someone has a faulty roof and they want to do solar, they don't have to worry so much about going out and getting a quote from someone else for the roof and
Correct.
then coming in to get the solar. You can handle the whole project.
Not only can we handle the whole thing, it's in the business owners or homeowners' interest to use us for both. And again, our job is to consult with folks because there's a warranty, and we're going to talk about warranties at a future segment. It's very important that you protect the warranty of the roof, and we can do that if we do both in the same time.
There you go.
So it's very, very important.
Well, thanks, Tim. Is there anything else you want to add in closing?
I think, one other thing that's an advantage for business owners, because many of my business owners do this, and that is that when they put solar on their business, technically we feed 1 meter. And they're able to we size the system large enough, if we have space, large enough so that they can offset the electric bill at their homes, all right, which we can't write off on a profit and loss statement, can we? So
Right.
that many of these business owners that I mentioned earlier in this segment do exactly that. We size the system, put it on their business, and they're offsetting the electric bill at their home.
So you're able to do a
It's called virtual net metering.
virtual net metering,
Yep.
but you're putting the thing on the business, and they're the business gets to depreciate it, even though you're getting to use the net metering for your personal house.
That's correct. That is correct.
That's a huge thing.
That is huge.
See, people that don't really understand accounting. If you just mention this to your accounting, they will explain to you how huge that is.
Yeah, that is big.
To be able to over 5 years to depreciate the investment.
That's correct.
Is enormous.
That is a big plus for a commercial investment. It really is.
So there you go. Tim, thanks so much. Anybody, you can look at the screen right now. It has all the contact information. They'd be happy to meet with you. It costs nothing for them to come out to your house.
That's what we do.
They're going to give you a little booklet with a design, or they're going to tell you, quite frankly, your house isn't suitable for this.
Yep.
But I will tell you that they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So you have nothing to lose by calling and having them come out.
Thank you.
Tim, thank you so much.
Good morning, Gloucester and beyond.